Study Session 1, Citizenship and Civic Responsibilities. Introduction. In this study session, we will examine the meaning and types of citizenship. In doing so, we will expose how people acquire membership of a country. We will also explore civic responsibilities, rights, moral, legal, and civic duties.
Learning outcomes. After you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Define and use correctly the terms in bold: citizenship, right, responsibilities. 2. Outline how citizenship is acquired. 3. Enumerate the responsibilities of individuals in a society. And 4. Highlight different types of rights you have as a citizen of your country.
Citizenship. The concept of citizenship. Citizenship means membership of a country. People who are born into the country by parents who are themselves a citizen of that country are called its citizen. Alebiosu, 1996. It also refers to the term by which we express the status of individual who possess full political rights in a given country. The concept of citizenship implies exchange. The parties involved in the exchange are the state and the individual in the state. A person who holds the legal position of citizenship are called a citizen. Certain duties and obligations are expected from them, according to Ikime, 1984. Not all people living in a country are citizens. Persons who are not a citizen are called aliens or non-citizens. Aliens are persons from other countries who have not become citizens of their country of residence. They lack political rights, which are being enjoyed by citizens. Acquisition of citizenship. A person becomes a citizen of a country by birth, naturalization, and registration of marriage. Acquisition of what we call rule of just soil, that is, place of birth. Here, anybody born within a country's boundaries is a citizen of that country, regardless of the nationality of his parents. The other rule is what is called jus sanguinis, that is, blood relationship. Amnesty International 1998 states that a person's citizenship is determined by his parents' nationality regardless of his place of birth. What operates in a country is determined by the constitution of each country. Citizenship by naturalization is conferred on an alien who has met certain requirements. An alien who qualifies for naturalization must renounce all allegiance to the acquisition by application to be registered as a citizen of a country of his residence after fulfilling certain requirements. Married people can also apply to be registered as citizens of their spouse's country. Deprivation of citizenship. Under the Nigerian Constitution, the president of a country may deprive a person other than Nigerian citizen by birth of his citizenship. If the president is satisfied that such a person as one within a period of 7 years after becoming a citizen of Nigeria has been sentenced to imprisonment for a term of not less than 5 years. 2, or the person has shown himself by act or speech to be disloyal towards the government and people of Nigeria, or the person has, during any war in which Nigeria is engaged, unlawfully enjoyed to the detriment of or with intent to cause damage to the interest of the country. Responsibilities and rights. Rights and responsibilities are like the two sides of a coin. This is because for the right to be granted by other or by the society, the individual must as well perform some duties. It is my right to protect the community so that the community as well may protect me. Aderibe 2002. I am duty bound to perform my civic responsibilities. The right of an individual may however be limited during emergency period. For example, during the Civil War, all fundamental rights were suspended, such as right to free movement, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, and so on. Moral, legal, and civic duties of an individual. Moral duties are those of our actions that are socially expected of us. It is morally expected of a young person to respect older people in the society. It is also moral to submit ourselves to leadership in our society. However, our civic responsibility is what the government expects of its citizens. It is when we perform our civic responsibilities that we can expect the government to provide us with social amenities and protection of lives and property. For example, pay taxes and rates. Our legal duties include obeying all rules and regulations as spelled out in the Constitution of any community we find ourselves. We know the citizens have rights, but before they can enjoy these rights, they must perform some duties. There is no government that can survive when its citizens refuse to perform their duties. The cooperation of the citizens is an essential ingredient to the success of any government. At all times, government needs the financial, human, moral, and political support of their citizens to be able to promote welfare. Aderibe 2002. It is therefore compulsory that the citizens must discharge their imposed duties and responsibilities. Duties of citizens. Duties are always used to connote all what the citizens must do to effect peaceful coexistence, national stability, and overall development of the country. It is also what citizens give back to the state for the rights they enjoy. Hussein, 1994. These duties are A. Obedience of law, rules and regulations. B. loyalty to the state and order. When a citizen carries out the above duties, the government and our part will be able to maintain peace and orderliness. C. The payment of taxes and rates. This will enable the government to provide essential facilities and infrastructure for the citizens. And D. Responding to national call or services and respect of the national symbols, that is, anthem and pledge. Duties of a good citizen in the classroom. A. A good citizen in the classroom should join others in keeping the classroom clean. B. He should arrange the classroom in good order. C. He should be loyal to the class, the teacher, and other officials. D. He must obey and help to maintain order. E. He must attend the class regularly and punctually. F. He must learn to take part in all the school activities. G. He must aim high. H. He must always be neat. I. He must always play fair games at sports. J. He must learn diligently as a good member of the team in the class. K. His character should be one that can be copied by others. L. He must be brave and never be discouraged, polite, respectful, and forbearing. M. He must do unto others as he wants others to do unto him. Amnesty International, 1998. Duties of citizens to his local government. 1. He should take a great interest in his local affairs. 2. He should learn to know what his council does for him. 3. As the local government meeting is always open to the public, he should try to attend and listen to their discussion or talks. 4. He should read regularly the newspaper in which the reports of the committees and council meetings are written. 5. He should move and be free with the local government council. Characteristics of rights. Citizenship means membership of a country, and they have rights and duties as a citizen. For example, what the individual owes the state is his duty or obligation, while those things the state is to do for the individuals are the rights of the individuals. Some of the characteristics of rights are the following. 1. Rights are inherent. Rights do not have to be given, but earned or inherited. They are human. Human rights are inherent because we are born with them. 2. Rights are universal. Human rights are the same for all human beings regardless of race, sex, religion, ethnicity, national, or social origin. We are all born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are universal because they apply to everyone in the world. Hussein, 1994. 3. Rights are inalienable. Rights cannot be taken away. No one has the right to deprive another person of this right for any reason. Amnesty International, 1998. People still have rights even when the law of their country do not recognize them or when they violate them. For example, when slavery is practiced, slaves still have rights even though these rights are being violated. 4. Rights are indivisible. To live in dignity, all human beings are entitled to freedom, security, and decent standard of living concurrently. 5. Rights are law or state protected. Any freedom to be enjoyed by people must have the backing of the law of the country and must be protected by the state or government. 6. Civil and political rights. These are liberty-oriented rights to life, liberty, and security of the individual, freedom from torture and slavery, political participation, freedom of opinion expression, thought, conscience and religion, freedom of association and assembly. Economic and social rights. These are security-oriented rights. For example, the right to work, education, a reasonable standard of living, food, shelter, and health care. Environmental, cultural, and developmental rights. These include the right to cultural, political, and economic development. Basic rights of an individual. The basic rights of an individual include the following. 1. Right to life, security of the person, the protection of law and unimpeded, access to the courts of law. This could be done through provision of essential amenities. 2. Right to freedom of association. An individual is entitled to his own religious beliefs. 3. Right to freedom of association. The law of Nigeria allows freedom of association. 4. Freedom of expression. Individuals or groups is allowed to express their own opinions on important issues that affect the state or nation. This, in essence, implies that no man should be above the law and adequate justice should be denied to no man. 5. Right to privacy and freedom of speech. 6. Freedom of movement and right to personal liberty. 7. Right to own property and right to be voted for. Each individual is supposed to obey rules and regulations and fulfill their social obligation. Social obligation will result in making our country strong. Secondly, it is also necessary so that there might be peace and understanding amongst us. Watchtower 2000. Rights of a citizen. As earlier noted, a citizen is a member of any societies or communities. He lives in such society in order to enjoy his rights and do his rights and duties successfully. Rights can be defined as those basic standards without which people cannot live in dignity as human beings. Rights are the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace. Amnesty International, 1998. The notion of individuals' freedom and liberty simply connotes the rights a person has to do whatever is capable of doing or realizing and actualizing his full potential within the society, to speak his mind and follow his chosen path without compulsion or interference from anyone. Hussein, 1994. However, in the modern times, rights of citizens include the following. Right to life. Every person has a right to life, and no one shall be deprived intentionally of his life, save in execution of the sentence of a court in respect of a criminal offense of which he has been found guilty in Nigeria. Hussein, 1994. The state protects its rights by passing law against murder and at the same time prohibits suicide. However, a person shall not be regarded as having been deprived of his life if he denies as a result of any one of the following. 1. For the defense of any person from unlawful violence or for the defense of property. 2. In order to effect a lawful arrest or to prevent the escape of a person lawfully detained. 3. For the purpose of suppressing a riot, insurrection, or mutiny. Right to dignity of human beings. Every individual is entitled to respect for the dignity of his person, and accordingly, no person shall be subjected to torture or to inhuman or degrading treatment. No person shall be held in slavery, and no person shall be required to perform forced or compulsory labor requirements in consequences of the sentence or order of a court, or any labor required which is reasonably necessary in the event of any emergence or climatic threatening of life or well-being of the community, does not fall under the category of forced labor. Right to personal liberty. Every person shall be entitled to his personal liberty, and no person shall be deprived of such liberty save in the execution of the sentence or order of a court in respect of a criminal offense of which he has been found guilty, or reason of his failure to comply with the order of the court in order to secure the fulfillment of any obligation imposed upon him by law. Any person who is unlawfully arrested or detained shall be entitled to compensation and public apology from the appropriate authority or person. Right to fair hearing. A person shall be entitled to fair hearing within a reasonable time by a court or other tribunal established by law and constituted in such manner as to secure its independence and impartiality. Whenever any person is charged with a criminal offense, he shall, unless the case is withdrawn, to be entitled to a fair hearing in public within a reasonable time by a court or tribunal. Any person who is charged with a criminal offense shall be presumed to be innocent until he is proved guilty. He should be given adequate time and facility for the preparation of his defense, either by himself in person or legal practitioners of his own choice. Right to private and family life. The privacy of citizens, their homes, correspondence, telegraph, communication, and telephone conversation are hereby protected and guaranteed. Constitutionally, it is an illegal act to use such other forms of devices to intrude into people's privacy. Right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Every person shall be entitled to freedom of thought, conscience, either in or in community with other leaders and in public or private, to manifest and propagate his religion or belief in worship, teaching, practice, and observance. No person attending any place of education shall be required to receive religious institution or attend any religious ceremony or observe if such institution, ceremony, or observance relates to a religion other than his own or a religion not approved by his parents or guardian. Right to freedom of expression and the press. Everyone shall be entitled to freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart ideas and information within interference. Amnesty International, 1998. Every person shall be entitled to own, establish, and operate any medium for the dissemination of information, ideas, and opinion provided such a person fulfills the condition laid down by an act of the National Assembly for the establishment or operation of such media. Right to peaceful assembly and association. Every person shall be entitled to assemble freely and associate with other persons, and in particular, he may form or belong to any political party, trade for the protection of his interest. This right does not cover any assembly or association that is against public peace, such as illegal demonstration, mob action, unregistered society, and cult activities, and so on. Right to freedom of movement. Every citizen of Nigeria is entitled to move freely throughout Nigeria, to reside in any part thereof, and no citizen of Nigeria shall be expelled from Nigeria or refused entry thereto or exit therefrom. However, any person who has committed or is reasonably suspected to offense may be restricted from leaving Nigeria. Study session summary. In this study session, we discussed that citizenship means membership of a country. People who are born into a country by parents who are themselves citizens of that country are called citizens. Anybody born within a country's boundaries is a citizen of that country, regardless of the nationality of his parents. Citizenship by naturalization is conferred on aliens who have met certain requirements. We went further to note that the duties of a citizen are to be responding to national call or service and to respect national symbols. The duties of a good citizen in the classroom and his local government include attending the class regularly and punctually and knowing what his council does for him respectively. Also, we noted that rights and responsibilities are like the two sides of a coin. This is because for the right to be granted by others or by the society, the individual must as well perform some duties. We identified the characteristics of rights and discussed the basic rights in Nigeria. That is the end of study session 1. Thanks for listening.